هي المقاومة اللبنانية باقية حملات تشويه وشيطنة واستهداف مباشر لا تثنيها عن الصمود والانتصار، بل لا تثني الأحرار في العالم عن مؤازرتها ودعمها. زيارة الوفد الإيطالي التضامنية إلى المقاومة اللبنانية من الداخل. معكم زينب صفار، تابعونا.
أما للمجاهدين فأقول لهم: أنتم الوعد الصادق، وأنتم النصر الآتي بإذن الله، أنتم أصالة تاريخ هذه الأمة، أنتم خلود الأرز في قممنا. أقبل رؤوسكم التي أعلت كل رأس، وأقبل أياديكم القابضة على الزناد، وأقبل أقدامكم المنغرسة في الأرض، فلا ترتجف ولا تزول من مقامها ولو زالت الجبال.
على الجبال خلف التلال وفي الوديان ستهزمون.
أنتم القادة، وأنتم السادة، وأنتم تاج الرؤوس ومفخرة الأمة ورجال الله الذين بهم ننتصر.
هم المجاهدون الذين ولدوا من رحم التضحيات العظيمة، وهي المقاومة التي لن تنكسر أو تنهزم. هي ثابتة ثبات أهلها وشجرات الزيتون التي يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار، وهم رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا حرب عن ذكر الله وحب الوطن. عشق وطنهم انغرس في أعماقهم وبات ينير سنا دربهم باتجاه التحرير والانتصار. وانتصرت المقاومة بمفاجآتها، نصرها الكبير باندحار المحتل الإسرائيلي من الجنوب اللبناني والبقاع الغربي في 25 من أيار مايو عام 2000. وانتصر شعب المقاومة بصبره بعد سنين من الظلم والقهر والاحتلال والمعاناة والمقاومة. وانتصر أحرار العالم بمؤازرتهم المقاومة ولو عن بعد، بثبات موقفهم. الباحث الإيطالي في الشؤون العربية والحائز الدكتوراه في العلوم الجيوسياسية بعد إعداده دراسة عن حزب الله ودوره في المنطقة، إيمانويل بوسي، كيف يقوم انتصار المقاومة في كسر الاحتلال وطرده عام 2000، ولماذا تتعرض لحملات تشويه شرسة اليوم. بوسي الذي يعد حاليا دراسة معمقة لمنطقة الشرق الأوسط وأحد مؤسسي المركز الأوروبي للدراسات الشرق أوسطية، كيف يحدد مقاربته في دراسة حزب الله وما رد الفعل الإيطالي على نتائج دراسته. Dr. Emanuele Bossi, Assistant Researcher in Geopolitics from Italy, welcome to The Inside. Well, sir, you are part here of a solidarity visit by a huge delegation of Italians from Italy who came in solidarity with the resistance. Why did you embark on such a visit at this particular moment in time?
The team from Italy is composed by a lot of different profiles. A journalist, a member of Islamic association, and researchers. In my case, I'm here to study the situation, the event, because I study and research about Lebanon, in particular about the resistance. And it's very important for me to participate with the Lebanese people, not just in a political or military point of view, but know the people thought and what look at the heart of the people. Mm-hmm. And in this situation, you can see a lot of Lebanese guys, boys, girls, that they are full of hope and good intention for the future. And it's very important for me to look to the speech of Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah. I don't understand Arabic so good, for sure, but it's very important for me to look the situation, look the people, speak with the people, observe the organization, and talk with the people and their opinion, and create my opinion. Not just with web sources or book sources or with interview with important people, but to the ground of the party. This is the reason because I'm here in these days.
Right, and what did you come up with, the whole idea of what you've seen, what you've heard, and the speeches and this commemoration this year?
My relationship with the ground of the party before this moment, it was just about some flag on the houses or some speech with the taxi drivers. First time of my life, I see 100 people coming in this for this event, and I feel a lot of love and hope, love for the leader and hope for the future. I'm sure Lebanese people, in particular the resistance families, so people that are working in the resistance, give all of them for the resistance.
For what they believe in.
Yes,
actually, for their land and for their villages, for their people, for the earth, for everything.
Yes, of course I gone in some party event in Italy, and this is very different to Italy, because in Italy it's just political point of view. It's just a political reason that people is in the squares or listen to the leaders. In this case, in my opinion, the people is in the squares or in this event to just to see, not before listen, to see and then listen. Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, and in that moment they asking to the leader, please. Talk us about the resistance. Talk to us about our work. Our work is important, and the victory is near for us. And in my opinion, the leader answered very good to this question of the people. And second, a lot of young people. In my country, people that observe politics are just university people or
academics and researchers and politicians, people who are included in the political line.
Yes, in fact, and the young people is not interested by the political.
Why is the young people in Italy not so much interested in their own internal politics, so to say?
First of all, it's a language problem, in my opinion, because in the political tribune or in TV, Italian politics don't speak about the problems of the people, of the young people, for example, job or
unemployment, and the economic problems,
the life cost, and so. But they just speak about Troika or European Bank or relationship with the USA or relationship with Russia. Of course, they are very important item, very important issues, but this is not the people problems. And the new generation don't believe more in their politics, in their deputy, in the
their
parliament.
Politicians and representatives. Yes.
Second, a lot of TV programs talk about the problems of politics. Scandals, for example, or corruptions. People, new generation, don't believe in old people that they stole, that they talk about other problems, and they need to have a leader that is speaking to them, not to the bank or some other lobbies and so. And in fact, the old parties on the left and the right is my opinion, is worked. This is not more time for the old politics in Italy.
Right. We're going to come back to the Italian internal politics and problems, perhaps. But let me just go back to the issue of the resistance, because nowadays we can see that there are there is a kind of targeting of the resistance. It is being targeted fiercely and attacked and demonized. Why do you think this is happening?
In my opinion, it depends by some facts. First, for example, in Europe, we talk about the problems between Christian and Muslim, but this is absolutely not a problem. Civil people is perfectly able to collaborate together. The problem is inside the Islamic world between Sunni and Shia. And in this problem...
the spread of sedition.
Yes, yes, in fact. And in this situation, Sunni or Shia take part, not thinking about the future of the primary problems, but just important for me is work against Shia or work about Sunni. And they, in my opinion, they don't think correctly, because for the Arabic Middle East countries, the first problem is the war with against Israel, and so Islamic country is fighting together and not together against Israel. Second, not all people, for example, in a modern country like Lebanon, maybe some people fear about the religious power. Maybe they think, yes, now they are strong, they are fighting for us, but if in the future we will win, maybe all of us will be obligated to become Islamic people and not free people. But I think that resistant parties and resistant movement is growing in this moment in the Arab country too. And I think that with a good media work.
But there are certain kind of disinformation campaigns against the resistance.
Yes, there are a lot of forces against the resistance, this is true. But they are not just Islamic forces. They are Islamic, but European, North American, Israeli.
Yes, neocons, yes.
In this moment, is very hard for the resistance fight against a lot of countries of the world. But the facts is speaking. And first, people is begin to not believe in the Zionist and Israeli point of view. So the classical point of view about this is our land, this is we are under attack, we are under attack. People begin to understand that Israelian is working against border countries of Middle East country in the border with Israel. And second, the victories. The resistance is obtaining a lot of victories, and Islamic people, yes, Muslim people that is in this moment is against resistance had to consider the fact that resistance is winning and Israel is losing.
Yes.
And so wherever the resistance is working for peace, for freedom, and not for fighting between religion or between territorial problem or geopolitical
denominational problem. War or sectarian war. Right, Emmanuel, we're going to stop now for a short break, and then when we come back we'll talk a bit more about your research into the resistance. A short break and we'll be back. Stay with us. الباحث الإيطالي المختص في الشؤون العربية والمنطقة إيمانويل بوسي الذي أعد بحثا معمقا عن حزب الله والمقاومة، كيف يصف مقاربته هذا الموضوع الحساس والمشوق، وما أبرز ما توصلت إليه أبحاثه من نتائج، وماذا عن دور المرأة في المقاومة ونشاطها.
In the university I began with a 4-year degree in Arabistic, but just with a historical and cultural field. During my PhD I start to study the resistance, and more I taken care of the problems and the situation. Fortunately, I met a lot of Lebanese people that speak to me and invite me in Lebanon, and so I began to research about the resistance, in particular the Hezbollah party. Point of view of my research were first geopolitical problems, so the situation against Israel, and second the relationship between Hezbollah, Syria and Iran, and the third the work of the party inside Lebanon. This research spring with my friend and colleague Dr. Ali Mansour in a book. The translation, we can say, is in there.
You compiled all your research in a book?
A part of.
Yes.
A part of, and we together write this book about the Hezbollah party. We interview a lot of very important people from politics, from military, cultural world of Lebanon.
Did you talk to women in Hezbollah?
Hezbollah women, no.
Why not?
This is because we concentrate to the work with the leaders and with the famous people. Maybe a second word will be possible about the situation of the woman, not just in Hezbollah but in the Shia world.
But also, I mean, here the women in the resistance in particular, because sometimes those people who work at the backstage, like the people in the military, and also the women, are the building blocks of everything that is called resistance, because they are responsible, they are the incubators, so to say, of this big victory and success of those resistance fighters. They are taking care of their children, they are also aiding and supporting, and they are giving everything in support of the resistance. So even in the Politburo of Hezbollah, you have women in the media, in everything, in all the sectors of life of the resistance, that you can see women, but sometimes they are overshadowed, so to say.
Yes, maybe the work of the women in Hezbollah is under shadow, we can say, in some way. Absolutely, in the future we will speak about this. Of course, we had to ask the permission to the party, and maybe we will meet some women. It's very important. This is very important for the European people too, because a lot in Europe think that women are covered, so they are not they are not able to collaborate with the resistance or with the political issues and so.
And they are just restricted to their homes and subservient.
Yes. And this is a sort of propaganda, we can say. In fact, this is one of difference between the Shia and resistant world and, for example, the Wahhabi world or the fundamentalist Sunni world. And it's very important. European people know that women, yes, in Lebanon, resistant women are covered, but this is not a reason because they not collaborate in hard to the resistance and to the politics, to the fighting too, maybe.
Let's go back to the essence of your research and your book. You were telling us about the outcome and the findings of your research.
First reason is, look, European people, Hezbollah is not terrorist, but is resistance.
Okay.
Because in Europe, they don't speak a lot about Hezbollah, because of course if you speak about Hezbollah you have to speak about the victories and the victories, the political victories and the military victories.
Yes.
So they prefer to don't speak a
to
lot.
sideline
Yes.
it, not to talk about it.
They prefer to speak about Hamas or Palestine and so, or Iran. If they speak about Hezbollah, they consider Hezbollah like something like terrorism. No, we cannot say something like Al Qaeda, but of course, strange, mad people, violent people, dangerous people.
Yeah. How was it welcomed in Italy? How was your book approached in Italy?
Yeah, the interest about the book is very high, but the problem is our press editor is not big, because the big editors are in fear to spread
publish anything about Hezbollah,
yes,
perhaps,
to
about such
spread
kind of
these
titles.
ideas and these books. Maybe in the future we will speak about Hezbollah with most important editor or press.
Yes, apart from the issue of trying to show to the European public opinion what they don't see actually in their media outlets or in their newspapers and whatever about the resistance in Lebanon, what did you reach in your research, Emmanuel?
Yes, this is a very important question, because it's very, very clear that I don't work for Hezbollah. So this is not my problem. If I try to explain in European countries, but this is not my problem. The second reason for me is to go very deep in my research and understand all is possible about the party, because this is, I think, this is not other similar party in the Middle East, not just in the Shia world, but in all Islamic world. And this is something like an unicum in the foreign politics. For me, it's foreign politics.
Yes.
Of Middle East. And so all I can understand about the party, all I can feel about the party is very important for me, for my research in the university and for publishing.
Why do you think, Emmanuel, that the Lebanese resistance, Hezbollah, is so much unique?
Of course, I could speak about the military training, the political victories, or about the
military victories
victory,
yes.
Yes. But it's very important, in my opinion, speak about the motivation of the Hezbollah militia, Hezbollah army, and Hezbollah supporters. Because yes, this is a religious party, but this is not a fundamentalist party, no? So religion is a great motivation, but the real objective of the party is not submit all the war to the Shia religion, but try to imitate the great sacrifice of Ali and Hussein.
Yes.
And in my opinion, every man and every woman in Hezbollah try to become like Ali and Hussein, because this is the first reason of life. And of course, when you think in
to sacrifice for a right and a noble cause.
Yes, for freedom and for right and for the ground, for all. Yes, in this moment, the enemy, of course, is Israel and Zionism. But in the future, we don't know what or who became the enemy of Hezbollah. But in fact, this is not a religious problem, because a lot of Hezbollah militants, voters, military speak to me that, look, this is not a problem with Hebrew people. The problem is with
the Jewish people.
Yes,
yes,
the Jewish people. But the problem is with the Israeli army and with the
Zionist approach.
Yes, the Zionist approach of the world. And maybe you in Europe are linked with Israel, but we, of course, not.
Yes. Here, allow us, Emmanuel, to go a bit to talk about what's your approach towards the Palestinian cause. Is it being eclipsed by regional power projects nowadays?
Yes, the Palestinian problem is a very huge problem. In my opinion, for two reasons. First, because Palestinian is in the heart of Israel, and so is absolutely clear that an Islamic resistance in the heart of Israel, it has a very hard life. And but the second is Palestinian resistance is not so organized like Hezbollah.
Right, Dr. Émanoüel Bossi, assistant researcher in geopolitics from Italy. Many thanks indeed for joining us on this interview.
شكرا جدا.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome, sir. إذا لقاء جديد في الأسبوع المقبل مع ضيف جديد وقضية جديدة ودائما من الداخل. للمزيد من التواصل بريدنا theinside@almayadeen.net. إذا theinside@almayadeen.net. من كل فريق عمل من الداخل من كل الميادين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.